Seagrass meadows are an often overlooked marine ecosystem, yet they are a habitat of critical importance for the overall health of our oceans. In this talk, I will explain what a seagrass meadow is, why they are threatened, why they are important, and ways in which they can be restored. Seagrasses are a group of flowering plants that grow underwater in shallow coastal beds. They grow outwards through their roots to form dense mats called meadows. Eelgrass is one of the most common varieties of seagrass, and can be seen in this picture growing in Boundary Bay, BC. Seagrass meadows have been called one of the most threatened habitats in the world. Although it is difficult to pinpoint exactly how much of this habitat has been destroyed, a recent study submitted to the University of Washington estimated that around 29% of seagrass habitat have disappeared worldwide since records began in 1879, and the rate of decline has been accelerating in recent years. This is equivalent to an area of 51,000 square kilometers, only slightly smaller than the entire province of Nova Scotia. There are many reasons for this decline in seagrass habitat, all of them being human-caused. Some of these threats include dredging, seaports, marinas, coastal developments, anchor damage, log storage, and excess nutrient runoff from agricultural land. So why are these habitats important? 5 reasons I will discuss are how seagrass meadows combat climate change through carbon sequestration, improve water quality, prevent coastal erosion, enhance biodiversity, and create habitat for commercially fished species. Carbon sequestration refers to the long-term storage of carbon. In seagrass meadows, carbon dioxide is taken out of the atmosphere and into the seagrass through photosynthesis. Although some carbon dioxide is released back in the atmosphere through respiration, much of it becomes trapped in the sediments where it can remain for up to 1,000 years. This means that seagrass meadows can help mitigate climate change by removing atmospheric carbon dioxide. In 2012, a global study was undertaken to estimate how much of carbon is being stored in seagrass meadows. They found that seagrass meadows are capable of storing twice the amount of carbon per square kilometer when compared to a typical terrestrial forest. Seagrass meadows also lack fire regimes, meaning that the carbon stock in seagrass meadows is much more stable and permanent. Although seagrass meadows only account for 0.2% of marine habitats, they store around 10% of all marine carbon. A single acre of seagrass meadow can store around 3,300 kilograms of carbon per year. This is roughly the same amount emitted by a car all the way from Vancouver to Guatemala City. In addition to combating climate change, seagrass meadows can also help improve water quality. They do this by acting as a nutrient pump, which means they take nutrients stored in the soil and release them into the surrounding water, restoring the health of nutrient-poor water. Seagrass also helps to prevent coastal erosion. The rhizomes, another word for roots, of the seagrass trap and stabilize sediments, reducing erosion and protecting coastline from stream sources. The trapping of sediments also further improves water clarity and quality. Seagrass meadows provide essential habitats for hundreds of marine species, which rely on the meadows as a nursery, a food source, or for shelter. This means that they form a critical part of marine food webs, and the loss of seagrass meadows will have a trophic cascade effect, meaning that all levels of the food will be affected. Finally, seagrass meadows provide humans with a valuable service in the form of habitat for many commercially fished species. In a 2001 paper submitted to the Journal of Oceanography, researchers identified 4 ways in which many species we use fish use seagrass meadows. These were a permanent habitat for all life stages, a temporary nursery area for the successful development of the juvenile stage, feeding area for various life stages, and a refuge from predation. Because of their importance, many groups have begun to research ways to restore damaged and destroyed seagrass meadows. So far, these efforts have had mixed success, as some areas no longer support meadows due to poor water quality and light penetration. However, there have been some successes. One proven way to restore meadows is through transplanting. For this method, mature seagrass shoots are carefully removed from a donor bed. The donor bed is a patch of seagrass that will be able to restore itself if some shoots are removed. The selected shoots are then put together into a bundle, often using an iron washer which will rust away once the shoots are replanted. The bundles are then replanted in a disturbed area, spaced out in such a way that the rhizomes will spread out and create a new dense patch of seagrass. If the transplant is successful, the spaces between the replanted bundles will quickly become filled with new shoots of seagrass, and within a few years a new healthy seagrass meadow will emerge, providing a home for countless marine species. In addition, the area will see a huge increase in carbon sequestration. As you can see, despite all the threats facing seagrass meadows, it is possible to restore areas that have been previously disturbed. Indeed, it is critical we preserve our remaining seagrass meadows and work hard to expand them wherever possible.